You are Locked On Red Sox POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Boston. On the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, as we know, all good things do come to an end, and on Friday night in Cincinnati, the Red Sox 5-game win streak coming to an end. It is now in the rearview mirror. Friday night, Red Sox losing to the Reds, 5-2 the final. Felt like Kutter Crawford deserved better, didn't get much in terms of run support, had difficulty early on keeping the ball in the ballpark, and I think I would have kept him in the game in the 7th inning. I'll discuss that coming up in segment number 2. And these solo shots are starting to add up. And Rafi, in case you haven't noticed, in a bit of a slump as well. Welcome into the Locked On Red Sox postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime play-by-play announcer, MLB on ESPN Radio, college baseball on ESPN networks, including the Longhorn Network, ACC Network, SEC Network, 10 years in the minors, national show host on ESPN Radio and satellite radio, and a guy with a dangerous amount of useless baseball information. We are providing reaction of every Red Sox game on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Red Sox podcast feed, which is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Not only are we providing reaction, we also want your reaction as well. Would you have left Kutter Crawford in the game in the 7th inning? You can comment on the YouTube channel. We can see it. We'll engage you in conversation as we go and we continue to build this. And I've got something coming up in segment number 3 that we're going to do Saturday, but I'll highlight that coming up as well. You can also watch and listen to Gabby Hurlbutt's latest Locked On Red Sox as well. Gabby providing in-depth analysis of the Sox Monday through Friday. And Gabby and plenty of friends around Boston celebrating on Friday with the Celtics parade in Boston. On tonight's show, we are going to talk about, not letting one loss turn into 2 or a 3-game losing streak or a stretch where you lose 4 or 5. Couple of Red Sox hitters extending hit streaks. We'll get into that. And Kutter deserving a lot better Friday night. Not only Friday night, but really since April. Our latest episode of the Red Sox and Locked On Red Sox postcast brought to you by our friends at Tax Network USA. Did you know that it's never too late to resolve your tax issues with the IRS? Don't wait. Reduce your tax debt and get help from the team of licensed tax professionals. Call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon, 1-800-549-1000, or visit the website as well, tnusa.com/lockedon. So Kutter Crawford makes the start. 4-11 on the season. Red Sox in his first 15 starts of the year. And some of those tough luck outings, right? Picked up the win last time out, first time in a long time. Crawford gives up a home run in the first inning. Boom. Red Sox respond immediately. Connor Wong, second inning home run. And I said, I think, series finale on Wednesday against the Blue Jays. Don't be surprised if there are going to be a lot of home runs in this series in Cincinnati. Dave O'Brien, Kevin Youkilis, first Nesson reference of the night, talked about it throughout. It's hot in Cincinnati. It's hot in the Midwest. It's hot out west. It's hot in the Northeast. All right, so 3 games with the roof open in Toronto, a little bit cooler north of the border. Now you're into the hot zone. You're in the stove right now for the next couple of games. Day game tomorrow, day game Sunday. By the way, let's get this out of the way. Cincinnati City Connect uniforms. Are you kidding me? It's 90-plus degrees at game time or 86 with humidity, and you're wearing black uniforms. All right. No advantage for the Red Sox. That's fine. But Crawford giving up the home run in the first inning, gave up a home run to Candelario. Then he gave up another home run in the second to former Florida Gator Jonathan India. By the way, Jonathan India, I think down the road at some point could be a Red Sox player. It might be wishful thinking on my part. Anyway, Crawford in the second gave up the home run, 2-1 Cincinnati. He did escape a bases-loaded jam, struck out Elly De La Cruz, looking for the third out in that second. Jarren Duran, top of the third, solo home run, game tied 2-2. Wong and Jarren both extending their hit streaks to 11 in a row. We'll have more on that with home runs. And 9 home runs on the road trip so far. So plenty of dingers. But all 9 with no one on base. Candelario, second of the night, solo shot, 3-2 in the bottom of the third inning. We're going to get into Rafi Devers. But Devers struck out in his first 3 at-bats against Andrew Abbott. Abbott had 10 Ks over 5 2/3 innings. He was taken out by Bell. and the Reds took their starter out in the 6th inning. Their bullpen was solid. Crawford had retired 10 in a row. Then he had an ugly 7th inning. 3 errors in the inning. The first allowing the leadoff man to reach. When it was all said and done, 3 errors across and 2 runs coming in. We're going to get more into Crawford in segment number 2 and why I think I would have left him in rather than going to Cam Boozer. I know all the numbers are going to tell you one thing. I'm going to tell you a little bit something different as to why I would have kept Crawford in the game in that situation. But Crawford, the home runs. Again, he retired 10 in a row, got a double play in the 3rd, 1, 2, 3, 4th, 1, 2, 3, 5th, 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. Crawford gave up just 2 home runs over his first 9 starts of the season, right? 52 in a 3rd innings, just 2 home runs allowed. He's now allowed 11 home runs over his last 7 outings. And with that, the innings pitched in that stretch, 11 home runs allowed over 40 in the 3rd innings. Now, 6 home runs allowed in his previous 3 starts against the Phillies and Yankees at home, Friday night in Cincinnati against the Reds. All 6 of the home runs with nobody on base. Gave up 3 solo shots on Friday. You can live with it, but the 3 errors and final line, 5 runs, 3 earned, he deserved better. And on a night where your offense has been solid, if not borderline terrific, hyperbole in there, of course, but you managed just 2 runs in Cincinnati. Hot night, black uniforms, City Connect uniforms for the Reds. Andrew Abbott has had success this year. He's had a couple of bumps in the road, but maybe his best outing of the season. Pretty close to it. So, again, Red Sox going into Friday, day off on Thursday, looking for a 6th straight win. Did not happen. Trying to get to 6 games over 500 for the first time this season. That did not happen. Trying to win back-to-back starts made by Kutter Crawford for the first time this season. That did not happen as well. And there was no adding on or no late inning runs like we've seen in the Phillies, Yankees, and Toronto series as well. So the Red Sox fall. And again, all good things come to an end. Their second 5-game win streak in a row of the season. They have not won 6 in a row at any point. We'll look to get back on track with Nick Pivetta on the mound on Saturday. So home run derby, 5 home runs early on between the Reds and Red Sox, all 5 solo shots. And the Red Sox lose it, snapping their 5-game win streak as well. When we come back, Raffy is scuffling, and I'm going to tell you why I would have left Kutter Crawford in the game in the 7th inning. I do not normally second-guess Alex Cora. And it's easy to second-guess after they scored 2 runs, both charged to Crawford after Boozer came into the game. But Crawford, to me, could have stayed in that game, and I think he could have gotten out of that jam. Details next. Steve Lennox, Locked On Red Sox Postcast, part of the Locked On Sports Boston feed on the YouTube channel, also available where you get your podcasts as well. Lennox on Baseball is the Twitter handle for me. Again, Locked On Sports Boston, the #1 place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day. And we are sponsored by Stitch Fix. Right there. Yep, we got it. Thanks to our sponsor, Stitch Fix. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist who understands your style, size, and budget. They do all the shopping for you. It's the easiest way to update your wardrobe this season. Easily upgrade your wardrobe this year with a professional stylist that helps you find new on-trend favorites and trends that are going to work for you as well. And if you don't love something, simple, send it back. That's it. Send it back. Shipping, returns, exchanges, always free. Style that makes you feel as good as you look. Now's the best time to get started with StitchFix.com/MLB. That's StitchFix.com/MLB. Get $100 off. That's $25 off your first 4 fixes for a limited time only. That's StitchFix.com/MLB for $100 off. StitchFix.com/MLB. Must redeem within 7 days of sign up. Offers do not include kids' fixes as well. All right, so the Red Sox win streak coming to an end. They don't get to 6 in a row. They don't get to 6 games over 500 for the first time this season. That's all right. Tomorrow is another day. That's what's great about baseball. You play 162 games in a very short amount of time. Get that bad taste out of your mouth. Hey, celebrate the fact that you had won 5 in a row, swept Toronto, off day in Cincinnati on Thursday. Come back tomorrow. Just don't make it 2 in a row, right? That's it. Don't let this spiral now. Take the final 2 games of Cincinnati, go home. Homestand starts Monday, first of 3 against Toronto. Off day next Thursday. Yes, we're really looking ahead. And then you've got the San Diego Padres coming to town. So I thought about this just before going live with our Locked On Red Sox postcast. And again, Alex Cora knows more than me, knows more than you. He's got all the numbers. He's got the feel as well. But Kutter Crawford, 1 out, runners on base. 2 runners on base in that 7th inning. It's a 1-run ball game at that point in time. They go to Cam Boozer out of the bullpen. TJ Friedl, boom, immediately. Not a home run, but gets down the bunt. Boozer tries to come to the plate with the glove. Shovel with the glove, with the ball in the glove. It gets past the catcher. Goes to the backstop. 1 run scores, 2 run score. 2-run score in the inning. 3 errors. It could have really been a lot uglier in terms of the runs. It was still within striking distance. Why do I keep Kutter Crawford in the game in that situation? Here's why. He's got a feel for the game. Pitchers don't work out of their own jams anymore. It's been a long time. Guys at the major league level right now did not learn how to work out of their own mess when they were coming through the minor league system. I'm not saying every pitcher, but a lot of guys. You get into trouble, don't let them leave with a sour note. I feel like Kutter Crawford had a better feel for that 7th inning than Boozer coming in. He had the intensity. He was locked in. He had retired 10 straight batters. He got a double play in the 3rd. Again, 3 straight 1, 2, 3 innings. Okay, error. If he gets the leadoff man there in the 7th inning, error on Valdez at second base, allowing the leadoff man to reach. Tough error, but, home team, you thought maybe a base hit. Error, first of 3 in the inning. But if he gets that leadoff hitter, he left with 1 out in the inning. 5 runs, 3 earned. But to me, he's in there. He's more in that zone than Boozer's going to be. And I don't think a visit to the mound, okay, settle down. We got 2 on. Hey, roll another ground ball. We'll turn 2 behind you. We'll get out of this. Then we'll take our chances. 1-run game going to the 8th inning. I don't think Friedl lays down that bunt with Crawford on the mound. I don't know that Boozer was anticipating that. Maybe somebody would have said something of, hey, they may lay down a bunt here. Watch it. Didn't get the runner coming to the plate. 2nd run scores as the ball got behind. Home plate, 2 runs across. 2 inherited runners. They're both charged to Crawford, but 2 inherited runners scoring against Boozer. And again, you're within striking distance. You don't want to get down more than 4 runs. You got to get 3 runners on base. And there weren't a lot of runners on base all night long against Abbott and the Reds bullpen. But I would have left Crawford in there simply because I think he had just a better idea of getting out of that. That was his mess. Give him an opportunity to get out of it. Okay, you leave him in there, he gives up a 3-run home run. Well, okay, it's a grand slam. It's still a 6-2 ball game. First batter, Boozer, 2-run score. Those 2-run scores. So Crawford wasn't going to leave that game with a positive outlook. He was going to have a sour taste in his mouth. Wanted better. Deserved better. 2 runs when you've been scoring, 5+ runs, it seems like every single game during the month of June. So that fell a little bit short. We're going to get into Rafi Devers here in just a moment. But Kevin Youkilis, second NESN broadcast reference. Kevin Youkilis, Dave O'Brien on the call this weekend in Cincinnati. All 3 NESN broadcasts, no national broadcasts for the weekend. At least, I don't think so. But Rafi Devers right now, and even you can throw Tyler Wong in there as well. 6 total hits for the Red Sox. Their season low 4. So they got 6 hits. Connor Wong extended his hit streak to 11 in a row. 15 hits during that streak. 2 hits in the loss on Friday night. Jarren Duran, similar home run, 11-game hit streak. He's got 18 hits during his 11-game hit streak. And Duran and Wong combining for 4 of the 6 base hits. But right now, the way it looks for Rafi Devers, entered the game 0 for 7, now 0 for his last 11. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. And there was a bat during the game. Let's go back to my little game summary here that I write out for myself. Uke, bringing him up. It was in the 3rd inning, I believe. No, it was in the 4th inning. Devers at the plate fouled off a breaking pitch. And Uke talked about Kevin Youkilis. I don't know if I should drop the Uke there. I don't know Kevin. I've never met him. But Kevin Youkilis alluded to, he's just a bit late there. He's just a little bit off. Devers usually pounds a pitch like that. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts in his first 3 at-bats against Abbott. And then in the 9th inning, sent the ball to the warning track in left center field. And Kevin Youkilis, again, during the NESN broadcast with Dave O'Brien, saying he just missed that. So he's not missing by much, but right now, Kevin Youkilis right with Devers of, just right there. And he's got some pretty good numbers against Frankie Montas. We'll get into that in segment number 3. But Devers and Tyler O'Neill combining to go 0 for 7 and 6 strikeouts. O'Neill 0 for 3 strikeouts, did reach with a walk. You've got to have those guys hitting in your lineup. We touched on it during the Toronto series. There was different guys, the role players. Dom Smith, one of them. He made the final out of the game coming off the bench in the 9th inning as a pinch hitter. But you've got to have, the funks that O'Neill and Devers go into. They're allowed. It's going to happen. We understand that. But they can't be extended slumps. And we're seeing Tyler O'Neill for the first time. Got off to a strong start. Injury, out of the lineup. Devers had the little issue, missed a couple of games. That seems to be behind him. He's in the lineup almost every single day. Had the day off on Thursday. He's got good career numbers against Montas, so maybe he breaks out on Saturday. We will see. Afternoon baseball, 4:10 start in Cincinnati for Game 2 of the series, as the Red Sox are going to look to even up the series along the way. A tough loss, 5-2. Again, 3 errors in a game. That's ugly. We know it can be ugly sometimes. Not that they just kind of went through the motions on Friday, but, we're not on the field. I did think about Cincinnati and Riverfront Stadium at one point. Remember the turf fields and the stadiums in Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, St. Louis? They used to have the temperature gauge in the dugouts. Guys used to come into the dugouts from the field. They would actually put their feet in water buckets, go back out for the next half inning. They'd be completely dry because it'd be 110, 115 on the turf. They kind of played like it was 90-plus degrees. Maybe that's an accurate way to say that. Coming up, numbers of the night. And I'm going to tease something for Saturday's show. Understanding that we don't always have a huge live audience, but we know overnight people will watch this into Saturday morning. So I'm going to tease something for Saturday. Again, we are working on it. We're going to bang people over the heads. If you're joining us live minutes after the Red Sox game is over, win or loss, we are here on the Locked On Red Sox postcast, part of the Locked On Sports Boston as well. And we're going to have that tease. That's an extended tease right there. So something I'm hoping that you'll involve yourself with for Saturday's show. Going to set that up. Numbers of the night. Look ahead to Saturday. Pivetta and Montas, the pitching matchup. Back after this. That's a radio thing right there. Back after this. We have the little bump and we go into our next sponsor. Locked On Red Sox postcast, sponsored by Tax Network USA. Here on Locked On Red Sox and Locked On Boston, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It is year-round. You know what else is year-round? We know. Collection season, right? Just because tax season is over does not mean the IRS is going to stop coming after you for your unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Don't let it happen. Let the licensed professionals at Tax Experts and the tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. With over 14 years of experience and an A-plus rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season and you need help correctly filing, 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. See the link in this episode description below. Locked On Sports, free 24/7 streaming channel programmed for you. And again, Tax USA. Visit the website at tnusa.com/lockedon. The phone number 1-800-549-1000. All right, so Kevin Youkilis. I've mentioned Kevin Youkilis, the Greek god of walks, in each segment tonight. Red Sox fall. 5-game win streak is over. They'll try to get back in the win column against the Reds, middle of the game of the 3-game series on Saturday. Kevin Youkilis is from the Cincinnati area. So he had a lot of great tidbits. I've only been to Cincinnati once. And my work trips over the years, it could be 3 days. It's airport, hotel, ballparks, hotel, airport, bye-bye. Don't get an opportunity to hit the spots at all. Dave O'Brien, Kevin Youkilis had my mouth watering talking about steakhouses at Johnny Bench's old steakhouse in Cincinnati during the broadcast Friday night. I've never had Skyline chili. I've never met anyone outside of Cincinnati who has liked Skyline chili. If you want to throw a comment in here, if you want to join us on Saturday, you've had Skyline chili, let me know your thoughts on the chili in Cincinnati. Something new that we're going to do Saturday, and maybe we do it in the middle game of each 3-game series going forward. But we can do it Saturday. Of course, Red Sox, if you're nostalgic, if you have a lot of useless baseball information like I do in between the years, it was inevitable to think back to the 1975 World Series, right? Not something I watched live. And Dave O'Brien said it during the broadcast. As he was growing up, he thought the home run by Carlton Fisk in Game 6, Red Sox won the World Series. No, there was the rest of the story there. But on Saturday, I'm going to throw it out there on a couple of different times on the show as we build our live audience. Again, understanding this goes out, people continue to build, maybe listen to it Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon before Game 2. Hey, we're building. We're patient. We're here. Okay? But on Saturday, I like this idea, and I'll start it off. Name me a former player that played for both the Red Sox and the Reds. Tony Perez, that's the one I'll give today. One up me, give me one. Give me one along the way. Join us Saturday live after a Red Sox win, fingers crossed. Give me a former Red Sox player and a former Reds player that played for both organizations. My first, Tony Perez. Can't use Tony Perez. I've used Tony Perez. There's some interesting names. There really are. Numbers of the night. Oh, the strikeouts. Big number. That was a big number for the Sox and certainly a storyline. Boston hitters striking out 14 times total. Season high 15. But they struck out 14 times. It is the 8th time in the month of June where they struck out 10 or more times. The 39th time this year. You want to look up strikeout numbers? That's actually not horrible. But 14 strikeouts in a game, put the ball in play, good things happen. Put the ball in the air in Cincinnati, it's probably going to leave the yard. Especially true Saturday, Sunday with the Heat and the game and the day games. But 14 strikeouts, 8th time in the month of June, 39 times this year, right? That's probably middle of the pack. I have been monitoring, keeping tabs, game in, game out on another podcast that I do for the Seattle Mariners. They have struck out a ton. They've struck out almost 10 or more times in a game, well over half their games. They have just, I think, 4 or 5 games now where they've struck out 5 or less times in a game. But they've had stretches, 6, 7 games in a row where they've struck out 10 or more times in a game. So the Red Sox striking out 10 or more times in 39 games this season, you can live with that. You just don't want them adding up over the course of time. Sox are going to look to even up this series on Saturday. 4:10 first pitch, Nick Pivetta, Frankie Montas, the pitching matchup. And I mentioned Rafi Devers, 0 for his last 11. Devers, 5 hits and 11 career at-bats against Frankie Montas. That includes 2 doubles, and he's got 2 runs batted in. Duran, 1 for 4, 3 strikeouts against Montas. Not a big spectrum there. The Reds are just 4-9 in his 13 starts this season. Montas has allowed at least 1 home run in each of his previous 5 outings. We'll see if that continues tomorrow, and we'll see if the Red Sox can end the trend of 9 home runs on this current road trip, all 9 with nobody on base. Montas, 1 more on him. Just 1 winning decision in his last 11 starts. So get to him early, get into the bullpen. Diaz worked the 9th inning in what was a 3-run game, so a save opportunity, and he was able to pick up the save in a 5-2 win. Pivetta, 4-4, 3.88 ERA on the season. Impressive whip, just over 1. Santiago Espinal, 3 hits, a double, 2 RBIs in his career against Nick Pivetta. Monday in Toronto, Pivetta went 7, gave up 3 earned runs, couple of home runs, had 12 fly ball outs, and known as a fly ball pitcher. You can get the ball in the air in Cincinnati, and that ballpark can play small. Pivetta, Sox have won each of his last 3 outings. He's gone 6 or more innings 4 times this year, and the way the Red Sox bullpen went on Friday, Boozer, used and Keller used as well. Keller, another scoreless inning in a third. And again, he saves the rest of the bullpen. And that's something that is good. Kenley Jansen hasn't worked in a few days. He's going to be fresh. He might be able to go both Saturday and Sunday if he's needed for back-to-back outings. So Pivetta, Montas, the pitching matchup. Red Sox will try to get back in the win column. 4:10 first pitch. We will be on with our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast almost immediately following the game. Try to get on air 10 to 15 minutes after the final out is recorded. You can join us on the Locked On Red Sox postcast. Give us a follow with my X handle at Lennox on Baseball. Our Locked On Red Sox postcast, again, following each and every Red Sox game for the remainder of the season. 2 more in Cincinnati, homestand with a day off in between the Toronto and San Diego series, which gets underway on Monday. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube as well, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Subscribe to Locked On Boston Podcast Network as well. Locked On, again, a reminder, has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV channel app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts on Locked On Plus, our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available for free on the Fire TV channel app. Red Sox look to get back in the win column on Saturday. Again, Pivetta and Montas, the pitching matchup. We are going to be on board Saturday night within minutes. The last out with our latest edition of the Locked On Red Sox postcast. Locked On Sports Boston is the number one place to hang out immediately after every game. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, everybody.